Let's start with the Patriots, shall we? New England Patriots get beaten last night, and if you didn't watch the entirety of the game, they did have a chance to get an onside kick to potentially go down and tie the game. That was a possibility. Crazy onside kicks this weekend. Did you guys see Atlanta recover essentially 3 in a row? One was called offsides, and they had to re-kick it. They kick again, get it again, score a field goal, kick again, and then they get stopped. The Patriots, had they recovered the onside kick, which statistically way harder to do now than it ever has been before. Had they recovered it, they were only down 6, and what was a complete blowout, what was 21-9 at the end of the third quarter, and they kicked that field goal at the end of the third quarter. And at one point, it was 28-9. Game was over. But here's what happens. We look at gross stats, and the final stats, Tom Brady throws for 326, 3 TDs, 1 interception. One of those touchdown passes, actually 2 of those touchdown passes were in the fourth quarter, and over 140 yards of his offense was in the fourth quarter. That, my friend, is what you call stat padding in garbage time. Although, look, they did find a way to make it okay if they return this kick, maybe possibly. But James White had 79 yards rushing. Most of that was in the fourth quarter. A team that last year went to and won a Super Bowl based upon a power running attack and occasionally landing a haymaker with Gronk or with Julian Edelman, now doesn't have Gronk, doesn't seem to have the ability to dominate running the football. And though they have Edelman, he's not really a Z. He's not really a go-to wide receiver. And I know many of you are sitting there going like, not going to fall for it this time, not going to fall for it this time, not going to fall for it this time. But what happens when you actually have a spot on your T-shirt? You guys get the reference? You know, the oldest trick in the book. Somebody looks at your T-shirt. You going to get that? You going to get that? You're like, I'm not looking. I'm not looking. You've got me on this thing for years. I'm not looking down. I'm not looking down. I'm not looking down. But what happens when you excuse yourself to go to the bathroom, right? You go to the bathroom, you look in the mirror, you're like, there is a spot there. What are the chances the one time? That's the Patriots. Every run comes to an end. And yeah, I think they could beat the Ravens. I'm not sure if they can't beat the Chiefs. We'll see this week. I know they were blown out by the Ravens on the scoreboard, but the game was a lot closer. And they did move the football extremely well against the Ravens with this same offense. But man, when you don't feel like you can score enough points to beat either of the top other 2 teams in your side of the bracket, what makes you think that you can do it in the playoffs? And I get they've done this for years, and I got you. It's Tom Brady. It's Bill Belichick. They'll figure it out. But at some point, it ain't X's and O's. It's Jimmys and Joes. And they ain't got the Jimmys, and they ain't got the Joes. I don't want to call death prematurely, but you're sitting there going like, hospice is sounding actually reasonable. You know? Anybody, and this will sound callous, but having been somebody who we had to turn the machines off, my dad 5 years ago. Right? Sorry if you don't like the reference, but you do understand it a lot better when you sit there and you tell yourself, maybe it gets better. Maybe it gets better. And Tom Brady's like, hey, look, we're 10-2. Yeah, but who'd you beat? We beat the Bills. Bills are obviously good. I'll grant it. I'll give you that. Now, the Bills lost Josh Allen and still had a chance to beat you, but I'll grant you that they beat the Bills. But other than that, who have they beaten? And if they don't win this week, now they'll have losses to 3 teams that they could potentially face in the playoffs. They weren't close to the Texans last night. They weren't really that close to the Ravens when they played them. And if you lose to the Chiefs, like at some point you're like, look, you just don't have it this year. You just don't have it this year. How many times will we fall for I know Patriot fans like, I'm not falling for that again. I'm not looking down just because you point to the top of my shirt. I don't have a spot on it. How many times am I going to fall for that? But what if you really did have a spot? What if it really was time to call it and call in the doctor and call in the priest and read the last rites? What if this really is? Because every run has come to an end. Happened with the Spurs, didn't it? Ginobili got old. Tim Duncan got old. Tony Parker got old. Happened to the Spurs. Happened to the Yankees. Right? Derek Jeter got old. Alex Rodriguez got caught using PEDs again. The pitching got old, and they had to reboot. It happens. At some point, everybody has to steal from Chris Peterson today, recharge. And it feels like we're perilously close to the Pats. Yes, they did win the Super Bowl, and they did get to the Super Bowl the previous year. So it sounds silly because other people, myself included, have counted them out at other times, and you don't want to fall for it another year. But Tom Brady's not younger. They haven't replaced Rob Gronkowski. Julian Edelman's not a one. They're still not communicating really all that well, as there's been massive communication issues with the wide receivers. They're not all lockstep. There's still time to get there, but man, it doesn't feel like they'll get there, does it? So you don't have to tell me that I'm calling hospice on their run, but I am very concerned and considering the possibility of turning off the machines.
Hi, I'm Doug Gottlieb from Fox Sports Radio, and you need to subscribe to the Fox Sports Radio YouTube channel where you can hear and see me. Why not? Plus everybody else who's awesome here on Fox Sports Radio.